After December 7th, 1941, the Japanese Americans would be taken from their homes, from their businesses, and put in internment camps. Just like this one here in Granada, Colorado, called Amache. Here, thousands of Japanese Americans would spend years of their lives during World War II. So we have the barracks here. Holy moly. So this right here is how many barracks. Look at all the barracks that they had here. Roughly 7,300 Japanese Americans were confirmed at Amache. The 1 square mile residential area was comprised of 29 blocks, each containing up to 13 barracks, divided into 6 rooms each. A bare light bulb, closet with no door, coal-fired heater, unassembled canvas cots, and rough wool blankets were the only furnishings that greeted internees. Families of 7 or fewer were assigned to a single room measuring 20 feet by 24 feet. The end units were 16 by 20 feet, usually housed either 4 single men or 2 couples without children. For a resemblance of privacy, they often hung a sheet. The last internees left Amache in October 1945. So they left here let's see here. This is the last internees left Amache in October of 1945. So it's October now. So 80 years ago is when the last of the Japanese Americans left this camp. Wow. And I'm sure that when they were here, the fences were higher, probably. But maybe not. This could have been different. All right. See if we can maybe get a look inside, hopefully, of this building to see if we can take a glimpse of what it was like inside one of these buildings. This building right here, this is Block 12H, Building 7. And they're divided off. I'm pretty sure it's going to be, yeah. It is locked, unfortunately. You see an old stove over there in the corner. Let's see if we can get a better look. If there's any more. Now, I believe that the way it was each of these rooms would house one family, if I'm not mistaken. But I may be mistaken. So if you guys let me know down in the comments how these rooms were, how these barracks were set up. This one's got another old stove. Maybe one of these will be redone. We can take a little look in here. So we got a cot, somebody's suitcase. Wish we could, couple of cots. Wish we could go in there and actually take a better look. Very humble living conditions. Here we have the foundation of a rather large building. See, it starts here and it goes all the way down there at the, well, I guess where it ends. What do we got going on here? Got another couple other buildings. You actually see the concrete floor on these, on this one. This is pretty massive. This would have been the bathhouse for the camp right here. And it just stretches. Like, you can see these pink flags sticking up, standing prominent from the grass, where all these foundations are. Just imagine back 1942, 43, when this was built, and all the Japanese Americans being brought here, their lives literally turned upside down. After the horrific bombing of Pearl Harbor by Japan, these folks were brought here because the people did not trust anyone that was not, the people did not trust anyone that was Japanese, because they had fear that there were spies. After what happened, there was fear of there being spies, and that these Japanese Americans would attack the American homeland, basically from within. That's what I have gotten from it personally, but I'm not a historian, so get another foundation here. See if we can make our way through here. And it is a chilly morning here in Grenada. I got up this morning, stayed in Lamar, and it was 32 degrees when I got up. Okay, so this right here that we just walked through was the mess hall. So as you see, there we have the barracks. And then right behind the barracks, we've got one of the guard towers. This is a sobering place to be. One day, and the government opens up and they pull their heads out of their butts and figure things out, we'll come back. And go in these buildings. Now just thinking of it, looking at this blockhouse, this here, this is the foundation of another blockhouse. So I'm thinking that would have been through here, would have been rows of blockhouses, and maybe even over there. It's really hard to tell with the grass growing up around it. Man, can you imagine coming from someplace like California and been sent to Colorado, where it gets cold and snow. But I guess we all adapt. But still, whew. Look at the sign over here. Cramped quarters. Here we have one of the guard towers. The octagonal shape. Spotlight up there. Octagonal? Yeah. Here we have the recreation hall. It says this one was the block manager's office and was also used as one of Amache. I apologize if I'm saying that name wrong. Amache's 5 preschools. It was the town of Grenada's maintenance shop and storage shed, and the structure is now back here where it once stood. Let's see if we can go take a peek inside. I'm pretty sure that none of the buildings are actually open because of the shutdown, unfortunately. But we'll still see if we can try, or at least take a peek through the window. There's one section of it. It's like it's walled off. And go around here to one of these windows. And there we go. There's like the main area. Looks too bad we can't get in. This place is massive. In the background I can hear some cows. This area right here would have been where the co-op store was, and there's a building right there. I'm not gonna walk out to it, but looks like, I wonder if that was part of the co-op store or if it was something else. Right here would have been the Amache farm. It says more than half of those incarcerated at Amache came from rural, I can't say that, California. It says they farmed more than 10,000 acres that the War Relocation Authority acquired by eminent domain. Pictures. Looks like you got some big bag of onions. This is got some livestock there. Here we are at the cemetery. We're about to go in. It says 121 internees died while held in Amache. Monument honors the 31 patriots who were killed in action while fighting with the U.S. Army 442nd Infantry Regiment. I believe the 442nd was the all Japanese American regiment, and the Japanese Americans, you know, were put in these camps. They still showed up to serve their country, to fight for their country. Medal of Honor recipient Kiyoshi Muranga. I apologize if I said your name wrong, sir. Private in the 442nd was killed in action near Severato, Italy in 1944. He posthumously received the Medal of Honor June of 2000. A place of honor in rest, it says. During Amache's 3 years of existence, the War Relocation Authority recorded 107 deaths. Many of those who died were cremated, their ashes placed in urns. Others were buried here. Because many deceased were removed to new resting places after the war, only 9 marked burial sites remain. The benches, sod, and trees are recent additions donated by the Denver Central Optimist Club and cared for by the students of the Amache Preservation Society. By the end of World War II, nearly 1,000 young men and women from Amache had served in the military. Most were analysts and interpreters for the Military Intelligence Service in the Pacific. Others were sent to Europe to fight with the segregated and highly decorated Japanese-American 442nd Regiment combat team. The stone monument erected here in 1983 honors the 31 soldiers who died in combat, as well as all who died while incarcerated at Amache. Picture of a funeral taking place here. This is dedicated to the 31 patriotic Japanese Americans who volunteered from Amache and gave their lives in World War II. To the approximately 7,000 persons who were relocated at Amache, and to the 120 who died during this period of relocation. August 27th, 1942 to October 15th, 1945. This is the honor roll of people who gave their lives. The Japanese Americans: Arnold Oki, Lloyd Onoie, Calvin Saito, George Saito, Victor Akimoto, Frank Kanada, John Kamira, and I do respectfully apologize if I am pronouncing names wrong. Beautiful, beautiful space. Here we have Masami Murakami, that passed away October 10th, 1943. John Paul Sasui, November 27th, 1942. Sakiro Nagai, December 26th, 1944. As we walk around the cemetery, let's think about what the Japanese Americans endured during World War II. The hate, the distrust. But while enduring this awful time during their lives, they still rose up to fight and to serve their country with honor and distinction. Let's think about that. In this solemn place. Thank you guys so much for watching.